New York cops still trying to figure out a murder mystery in Queens. Posters now lining the streets of a neighborhood in Forest Hills where a mother was brutally killed in her home and then found stuffed in a duffel bag. 51-year-old Orsolya Gaal stabbed dozens of times in her basement with her youngest child in the house upstairs. Her husband and their oldest child out of town on a tour of colleges. A murder mystery. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett live tonight in Forest Hills with the story and the latest. Newt?
Right, Bill, some neighbors tell me that they are restless, that they're losing sleep, still struggling to come to terms not only with the murder, Bill, but the fact that the killer has not been caught. But a timeline is beginning to emerge, and evidence here is piling up.
I've been stressed out over it, to be quite honest with you.
Neighbors have been on edge for 4 days, desperate for news that someone has been charged in the horrific murder of Orsolya Gaal. She was 51 years old, the married mother of 2 teenaged boys, beaten and stabbed to death in the basement of her home.
It's just in your backyard. It's just so close to, where I live. And even though I know that there was no forced entry and maybe there was some kind of story behind everything, I still feel, as a woman, I don't feel safe in the city.
Sources say NYPD detectives have tracked her movements to a tavern on Austin Street, where she drank alone late Friday night before returning to her home. Whether she returned alone or with someone is not clear, but investigators believe the killer is someone she knew well, someone that she may have had a relationship with and may have had a key to the back door. What is clear is that the killer dragged her body in a large duffel bag through the neighborhood, dripping blood for several blocks before dumping it near the Jackie Robinson Parkway. This surveillance image is said to be crucial to the case. A man believed to be the suspect dragging the bag just before daybreak. Sources tell Eyewitness News that Ms. Gaal had been in contact with at least 3 men that night. One of them may emerge as a person of interest in the case. She was killed in a rage and suffered 60 stab wounds as she fought for her life. But the motive for such a savage murder is still not clear tonight. Former NYPD Chief of Detectives Robert BOYCE.
The key here is what was happening in her life, what was going on, who was she speaking to, what social circles she ran in. All these things need to be considered.
Well, the chief also points out that the case will hinge on physical as well as circumstantial evidence. DNA from the victim's body and from the crime scene will help detectives narrow the focus and identify the suspect.